Live. What's going on, team? I want to share with you today how to gain instant motivation and energy. If you're new to the group, welcome in. My name is Ryan. I'm the owner and one of the coaches here at RM Body Transformations. Let's go. And if you're curious why RNs, I posted another video recently about this. I have one on my personal profile too. But let's dive in. I want to make sure if you guys are paying attention, I want to make sure that you can leave here with quick value so that you can get on with your day and also have more energy and motivation. Let's dive in. Number one starts off with a question. What percentage of your experience happens within your mind? If you said anything but 100%, I disagree. The reason I disagree is because if you have no mind, you have no experience of life, right? Like once you're brain dead, there's no experience of life. It all happens in the mind, right? So we agree that the mind is the filter and the container for our experience of life. What I want to share with you is mental priming. Now, you might say, what is mental priming? Mental priming is the practice of cleaning your mental filter, or mental priming is the practice of giving your mind a target. And I'll explain why each of these are significant. Both are beneficial. Give yourself a moment. You're going to give yourself what you need in the moment, right? You're going to want to clean the filter if you have racing thoughts and cannot control your thoughts when you stop without stimulation, which is where a lot of people are. You're going to give your mind a target when you have cleaned the filter. So going back to all this, why is this significant? If you do not have a lot of motivation or do not have a lot of energy, I can promise you one of the things, the fastest way you can unlock this energy within yourself is not physical. It's going to be emotional and mental. So how do I prime? Are you ready for the secret to unguided meditation to clean your mental filter? I'm about to lay it on you. Just sit there. It sounds crazy, but literally, if you can just sit uninterrupted for 15 minutes, you will get tremendous benefit. And I'll dive into more of why in a second. But how I do this really simply is I just go to a pretty quiet place where there's low stimulation. I bought $16 construction headphones. I put on some like meditation type noises on YouTube. I toss these bad boys on and I can't hear anything. Best $16 I've ever spent in my life. Promise. And you just sit there. That's literally it. You're going to allow your brain to process thought. And anything that you think of that you don't want to forget, just take a second and write down. A lot of the thoughts, or we'll talk about tabs in a second, a lot of the tabs that you have open in your mind are because you don't want to forget it. Why put that stress on yourself? Just get a notepad or your phone and write down the thing. Have what I call a capture list. So have like on a notepad just all the things that come to mind that you don't want to forget. And when you do that, you can close a tab. Think of this process like closing tabs in your computer. When you close the tab, your computer works better, right? Did anything increase about the computer? Did anything physically change? Right? You think about it. Your computer's slow. You close all the tabs. You restart your computer. You open it back up. It's way faster. Why? Nothing changed about the computer. You didn't give it more RAM. You didn't change the CPU. All you did was close the tabs. It's the same thing for you as a human. So many of us are walking around right now with hundreds of tabs open. And then, when we wake up in the morning, we didn't sleep well. And we're thinking, man, I wonder why I didn't sleep that well. I wonder why I don't feel that good. What happens when you leave all your tabs open on the computer overnight? You wake up in the morning and your computer's slow as fuck, right? So what you have to do is close the tabs. I recommend when you're starting this, close the tabs in the morning and at night. Take these 15 minutes, but we're just talking about priming, which would be in the morning. But you could do it at night too if you want to have a better night's sleep, which I recommend. But for here, you want to close those tabs. You're going to close mental tabs, gain back mental RAM, and you'll work better, smoother, and faster. I promise you. If you only have, if all you do every single day is 15 minutes to transform your body and your mind, it's this action. Why? because this is the start. Like, imagine how crazy this sounds. Let's say you have 100 tabs open on your computer. And then instead of closing the tabs because it's kind of slow, you just start video editing on the computer, or start like going and watching YouTube videos and it's slow and painful. Why wouldn't you just close the tabs? But literally, that's what so many of us, and I am the most guilty of this. I can only talk to you about it because I've lived it. I was the person that had 100 tabs open and I never closed, and I was exhausted all the time and I was tired. And now I'm the exact opposite. It's, again, it sounds crazy, right? Imagine if you, like, and you might have been here, you might have said, I have no energy, I'm tired. Your mind's overworked, but we don't think about that. And then we say, I think I need to start exercise. That's like having 100 tabs open and then opening 10 more. Why? Don't do that. Instead, simply close the tabs. Then we can focus on exercise and all this other fun stuff, right? But I promise you that if you do this activity, instantaneously you will have more energy, and you'll have a different amount of energy through the day. And again, is this the only thing you do in your whole journey? No. But this is, as a generality, the best first step that somebody can take. And you might say to yourself, oh man, that's like pie in the sky. That's like mental stuff. Like, look, we already established before, your experience of life happens in your mind, right? And if you don't believe your experience of life happens in the mind, try living without one, right? No brain, no mind, no existence, no experience of life in the way we know it. So it's crucial, if you're just tuning in, to rewatch this so you know, but you want to close the tabs. So you want to get to a point that when you sit, your mind gets relatively quiet. And you might say, well, my brain just doesn't work that way. I would argue and say it does, but it's been so long since your mind's been quiet that you probably don't even associate that as your mind anymore. All you know is your stressed mind. So I would argue that with this practice done enough, you can get there. So once you have gotten to the point that when you sit, it's relatively quiet in your mind, congrats, you have ascended. Not really, but you can move on to focusing on a target. You've probably heard this idea of like visualization. I don't like to start there. The reason I don't like to start there is because that is, again, like opening multiple tabs when you already have 100 tabs open. Why? Don't do that. Your computer's going to explode. Do you want your computer to explode? The difference or the comparison is like getting the blue screen of death if you've used PCs in the past, or your computer shuts down. And what's the human equivalent of that? Mental breakdown. Shedding tears, whatever it is. So your mind is like a heat-seeking missile. Once it is clear, now we want to give it a target. By giving it a target, you will be more easily pulled towards the actions that will get you there. Now, I'm not saying that, like, I'm not like a person that believes, and if you are, that's fine, but I'm not. I don't necessarily believe in this idea of like, if the law of attraction, if I think of something, it's going to come my way because I'm going to pull it towards me. I don't necessarily believe in that. If you do, that's fine. But for me, what I do believe is that when I give my mind a target, it is much easier for my brain to essentially make decisions based on that target. And I'm not saying that you're always going to make the right decision. You're not. But it doesn't come down, being a fit person doesn't come down to making 100% right decisions. It comes down to making the majority fit decisions. By giving your mind a target, super helpful. So to reiterate, super important. You got to get your mind clear first, then you give it a target. Because the pleasure you'll experience is at the surface of your mind. If you can give your mind a target, and that target, I'm not talking logic. I'm not talking you sit there and you look at numbers that say, weight 140. That's nothing. That doesn't feel anything. We are emotional creatures. You will always be pulled, you and your mind will be pulled towards pleasure and also to be pushed away from pain. So what you have to do if you're going to give your mind a target is you want to vividly imagine the target. Don't think about 140. Think about what you will experience by reaching 140 pounds. The energy, okay, let's start with energy. And you don't think of all of it at once. It's impossible. You just think of the energy. Okay, when I'm at 140, what will that energy look like? Oh, well, I'll be going out. Oh, I'll be wanting to go out after work, and like maybe I'll be motivated to cook a healthy dinner, and I can see my kids like complimenting me on my cooking, and my husband really appreciative of a home cooked meal. I can see us being fit, strong, and healthy. I can see my confidence. I feel great. I'm standing different. And wherever you want to think, doesn't matter. But when you give your mind that target, it makes the whole game more winnable. But again, don't start there. Start by clearing your mind. Now, again, these techniques are like bathing. Very important to acknowledge this. I recommend it daily. Some people want the magic bullet, the one thing that will, man, I just got to do it once and then I'm done. Nope. Just like bathing. Recommend it daily. Every day I do this, right? And if you say to yourself, oh man, I don't have 15 minutes, either you need to reprioritize your time or you need to shorten the time. So like, do you have 5 minutes? I guarantee you have 5 minutes, because every day as humans, we all do the same thing when we go to the bathroom. Hopefully you do that every day. Do you know what I mean? So when you go to the bathroom, do you take out your phone and scroll on TikTok? Or do you take out your phone and scroll on Facebook? Or do you use that time to empty your mind? I don't know. But usually the time is there, right? Or like here's another example of emptying the mind. When you're driving in your car, are you flooding your brain, opening more tabs when you're driving in your car, listening to the radio or, other stuff? Or are you giving yourself an opportunity to be quiet? And are you giving yourself an opportunity to close the tabs in your brain? I don't know. But whatever you're doing, if you're not getting the result that you want, you should probably try something different. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing again and again and again and expecting a different result. You don't want to be insane. So do this with your next step up habit, which is essentially the next habit that will get you closer to your goal. Whether it's like if you're just starting out and you're completely green, it will be like drinking water or like increasing your sleep or whatever. Or maybe it's you're starting exercise. It depends on where you're at. But you just do the next one habit, and I guarantee you'll transform your body eventually as you build up, right? And if you want so hopefully this was helpful. If you want a new level of focus, clarity, and direction to take your guesswork out of your body transformation, I'll leave a link to apply to work with us. But hopefully this makes sense. This is by far one of the most underutilized skills to gain instant motivation and energy. I just really want to lay that home because, again, a lot of people discredit things that have to do in the mind because they think, oh, that's kind of like hokey pokey, like that's not real. It's not in the physical world, like an orange, right? It's just all up here. It's, it's metaphysical. It's weird. Look, your experience of your life happens in the mind. Promise you. Do this for 5 days in a row. Do this for 1 day in a row and tell me at the end of the day if you don't feel better. Right? But here's the thing about life. The most important things in life to transform your body, to have a good family life, to be the person you want to be, they're easy to do. I mean, this is kind of easy. I mean, I'm literally saying take 15 minutes in the morning and just sit there, right? It's easy to do, but guess what? It's also easy not to do. And that's why the majority of people live lives that they aren't completely fulfilled with. And it's unfortunate. But if you really want to be able to unlock, I really recommend rewatch this video. I think it would be really helpful. Take the 15 minutes, clear the tabs in your brain, allow yourself to just easily recapture the energy that is dormant inside of you. You don't need to upgrade your computer to get a faster computer a lot of times. You just need to close the tabs. So I'm here to support you. If this was helpful at all, feel free to like this video, comment below, let me know it was helpful. Let me know what part was helpful. Let me know if you want more content like this or something else. I really want to make sure that regardless of whether you ever become a one-on-one coach with us, that you can get some help, that you can get some advice, that you can get some structure, you can get some strategies that can get you to where you want to get to. You just got to do them, right? And when I say you just got to do them, I mean you just got to start, right? And then from there, you can start putting all the other actions in place, really starting to put sustainability into place, making sure that the actions you're taking are sustainable. Because at the end of the day, the last thing we want to do is to go all in 100%, deprive yourself, and just follow the just do it mentality. We want to have this sustainable approach. It should feel whatever you're doing is low effort, high reward. And I can promise you, this is one of the lowest effort things you can do to get one of the best rewards. So don't sleep on it. Try it. If you do try it, come back to this video, comment, let me know how it went. And I'm here for you. So enjoy the day. Hopefully this was helpful. Podcast 19 out.